But I don't remember how many games we had played when our church had a potluck dinner. A lovely lady, Mrs. Howell, a real Christian, gentle and refined in every way, caught me alone. I'm indebted to her for doing it when we were alone, and said, I want you to know that my son is not what you called him during Friday's game. My husband and I had been married several years before he was born. I could have died. Shame, shame on me. I couldn't apologize enough. Fine family and fine boys. I was being frustrated because I felt that this big farm boy wasn't used to suffering pain. They felt a little fear because he was playing the opposite of kid that they were banging each other hard. And it seemed to me he eased up. And I was aware that what I thought I had muttered was yellow bastard. Shame, shame, shame. Well, as I say, I couldn't apologize enough, and she was gracious enough to accept the apology. I never heard anything more about it. And where I felt I muttered it, I either didn't mutter it, it was louder than I thought, or one of the boys that sat next to me repeated it somewhere and it got back to the mother. I hope I never goofed up that bad again, ever. CULLISON was our nearest league competitor and our real competitor, the team we really wanted to beat most of all. We were hyped up getting ready for that game. Boy, everything went well. First half, we could do no wrong and they could do no right. Our guys were just really good on defense. We were ahead 18-0 at the half. Couldn't make those extra points. But right after the half, the CULLISON team, and it was obviously something they had discussed, I suspect maybe the coach set them up to do it. They didn't really play the whole thing as a normal defense. They, all six, gang tackled that quarterback and, viciously hit him. Well, his right arm was paralyzed. He could not handle that ball. That arm wouldn't work. So we had to go with a second quarterback, and I wasn't prepared for that. I guess I'd never even considered that the boy might get hurt that bad. And when it was all over, we lost, I believe, 19-18. They made one extra point and also scored three six-point touchdowns. It's hard to take, but I did a pretty good job of managing not to be bitter, although I always looked at that coach a little sideways, thinking, hey, you play dirty. Well, I took the crazy boy home, but I was really worried about it. And the parent, said, he's been hurt before, he'll be all right. And I said, I really think you should see a doctor. And I told him how, as a player, I was frequently hurt bad. And the chiropractor would kind of glue me back together, that I believed in chiropractors. And they didn't say anything, but it was pretty obvious they weren't into the chiropractor thing. And I think they did take Kenny to their family physician. Well, during the following week, his arm just did not get better. It was in a sling, I think. Remember, right? It was in a sling, and he just was, that arm wasn't functioning. And it just doesn't take any time at all if you don't use a muscle for atrophy to begin to set in. Well, I think it was just at the end of that first week, the parents got a hold of me and said, if you can spot a chiropractor that's you feel is the right one to go to, and we'll take him on Saturday, we'd pay the bill. We didn't have insurance in those days at schools to help take care of that sort of thing. And boy, I can't remember where it was. I don't think it was at Pratt, but it was somewhere in the wider area. I didn't have to go as far as Wichita. Found a well-recommended chiropractor, and sure enough, had him on that table and did some manipulations, and the kid had feeling back in that arm. And that doctor told him, now son, you get a rubber ball. In fact, I think maybe he gave him the rubber ball. Can't remember. You get a rubber ball, and you take that rubber ball with you, and you just almost at every opportunity, you be squeezing that ball and build that arm muscle back up and get your strength back. Well, even though I nagged him about it, I knew he wasn't really doing it. Now, he could go back and function, but he wasn't functioning like he did before. And I'd almost bet that to this day, if you found Kenny Frazee, that his right arm wouldn't be as developed as his left arm. Too bad. This was long before all this sports medicine where they really knew how to rehabilitate after an injury. Well, couldn't say football season was a success. It wasn't a disaster, but it wasn't a success of the kind I wanted for sure. But okay, it's over. Let's get ready for basketball. We're going to do better in basketball.